excitement for one day. Onto the bonnet, there's a new 1.8 litre turbo petrol engine putting out 280 horsepower and 390 newton meters of torque. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour is 5.8 seconds, going on to a top speed of 255 kilometers per hour. In Ireland, the Megane R.S range starts from €41,995. There's a manual or EDC automatic gearbox, and you can choose from a cup or sport chassis, with the cup being the more hardcore track focused setup. Now the engine, do its thing, is a real highlight of the Megane R.S in my opinion. It's so strong and it just makes some really interesting noises. Now, to add some novelty value to the Megane R.S when there's so many competitors, Renault Sport have given the Megane R.S 4 control, which is the name for their four-wheel steering system, which we've also seen on the Megane GT, but it's been tuned again for the Megane R.S. There's a number of driving modes like race, sport, the personalized settings, so you can kind of set up the car how you'd like it to extract as much fun as possible. The Renault Megane R.S has a sophisticated cabin with sporty details like a sport steering wheel, RS badging, and these fantastic Alcantara sport seats. A portrait-style touchscreen takes centre stage in the cabin, though it can be a bit fiddly to use. On a practical note, the Megane R.S is now a 5-door hatchback, but the rear is more suitable for 2 rather than 3. There's a good 384 litres of boot space available. There's quite a sophisticated cabin ambience to the Megane R.S, and the ride comfort is also very good for a performance hatchback as well. So the Megane R.S is quite a handling star. Definitely gets better the harder you drive it. You need to sniff out a back road with lots of twists and turns to really see the prowess of this car and its USP. Why would you go and buy the Renault Megane R.S? Probably because you really like the way it feels through corners, and also that engine as well. For me, it's really good. The steering doesn't have a huge amount of feedback, I would say. It's not the most tactile unit, but it's heavy and it's direct, and I'm still having loads of fun, trust me. It's the kind of car you just want to drive into corners, plant your foot on the throttle and see where you end up. And I know you will get around the corner because this car is just so stable. It's just really wonderful, yeah. There's a lot of very good hot hatchbacks on the market. Again, I think it's a matter of going out and test driving them all. They're all a little bit different, I think, in that they do all the same kind of thing, in that you can drive them very fast through corners with lots of noise. But the execution of it is always a little bit different, and the Megane R.S is a lot of fun, it really is. I do have a few niggles, the first being that there's torque steer, the second being that I think I prefer the manual gearbox for a more tactile extraction of power, and the third being that the four-wheel steering, while I do think that it does contribute to that handling brilliance, at the same time there's been a few times where I felt like it interfered a little bit as well. I was a little bit more aware that there was something weird going on with the wheels. have a few niggles with the Renault Megane R.S, but I have no problem saying that this is a passionate high performer that gets better the harder you drive it.